how many of you know that our real currency is time, and we only have a certain amount of it? And there's a lot of people out there that are worried about the Schumann resonance and the solar flares and, the governments and all these different things that are happening to us. But what about the things that we have the ability to control ourselves? Like, the average person spends 5 to 6 hours a day on their cell phones. That's a lot of signals that are coming through, a lot of, radiation that's coming through. Do you know that the average person watches 3 to 5 hours a day on television on top of their social media? Then you have the average person is on the computers 3 to 5 hours a day. And there's just this little slice that's left over for you. And if you can imagine how much of the stress of our life is coming from these things that we have in our hands and our fingertips, and we just haven't learned to turn them off. Now, I'm not saying these things are bad. I love cell phones. I love social media. I think it's one of the greatest inventions that's ever happened. I use it. I explore it. I understand the value of it. It's finally something that we have in our fingertips where we can communicate globally, that we can experience things globally, that we can communicate in a way that people can't shut us down. And it's really we, the people, in this internet place. And I love it. But still, it comes with its consequences. There has to come times in our day where we just shut it off. Turn the noise off. I remember years ago when I was, probably 4 or 5 years ago, when I was just getting out of the end of a divorce, and I had just finally got to the point where I was 50-50 custody with my kids. Now, any parents out there, if you've gone through this, you know how hard this is to have a time where you literally lose 50% of your time with kids. And if you were raising kids for most of your, adult life, that is one of the most scary parts that you can ever go through, scary seasons that you can ever go through. And I remember just sitting there thinking, this is the first time where it's just quiet, and I turned my TV off and my cell phone off, just turned it off. And I sat there, and I remember just hearing signals and static and just thinking, man, I haven't heard this silence in years, and I didn't like it. And I turned that off. I turned the TV back on, and I turned my cell phone back on, and I turned the quiet off. And I've learned through this last year to value my time. If that's just one walk through the woods, spending, 45 minutes or a half hour a day with no cell phone, not even on my body, not even around me anywhere, just putting it down and going somewhere without it. Something that small can change your life over time. Because here's what happens. First 10, 15 minutes with walking without a cell phone, you're wanting that cell phone. Then you're wishing you had some music to walk with. Then you're wishing you had some kind of reels that you could play. And then all of a sudden there just comes this time. It just starts to calm down and you start talking to yourself. Very healthy part to be, because your soul wants to talk to you. Then you start figuring stuff out, and without fail, almost every time, by the end of the day, I have new original thoughts that came from here and not from here. Now, I'm not saying this is bad. I think it's a great tool. But I also know the greatest tool in this world is this thing that we called our mind. We have so much to unlock up here. Dolores Cannon said all the information that we need, all the mystery of all this world is all stored up in our subconscious mind, and we all have it. We all have access to it. But we just use this little tiny part of our brain. Well, the more we can turn off the noise, the more we can, get our immune system and our nervous system calmed down, the more we can eat the right foods to put us in a place where our GABA is working for us and our vagus nerve is calmed down and our gut health is a little healthy. I'm not saying you have to be perfect at it, but man, the more you can get in that direction and you can start to turn off the noise, we can get as mad as we want as, the solar flares and all this Schumann resonance and just thinking, why do I feel this way? Or we can say, maybe some of this, just some of this, is self-induced. And that's okay, no shame in it. But we can take that information and apply small changes in our life that over time can create massive, massive results. So take a little time, turn your cell phone off, go on a walk by a lake, walk in the woods. If you live in the inner city, if you live in the city, you can't get it where, just literally go buy a tree. Go buy a tree. Stand there. You can still hear the noise of all that, but you'll get to a place where you can tune it out. It's the silence. It's getting the static away. one day at a time, and doing that over and over and over again. So eat fruits and stay silent.